First, I want to say, as a Staten Islander, I think I could speak for the 500,000 of us. Thank you for the efforts on the property tax, especially my colleague and neighbor, Joe Borelli. All right. I moved to Staten Island in 2003, and my taxes have gone up from $1,800 to $6,800 in that time period, which is astonishing, right? But so once again, I thank you for that. And I'm sure there are others in Staten Island that are in a deeper hole than I am with that when it comes to that taxes. So I just want to switch gears here and talk about speed cameras. And in the current budget, they're looking to expand them to the MTA bridges and tunnels. Over the years, they've expanded from a 20-camera pilot program in 2014 to now we're over 2,000 planned cameras in New York City. And now they're operating 24 hours a day in a quarter-mile circumference from a school, not on the street the school exists. The reason why I'm asking about this and laying the foundation is that we talked about the MTA. Has there been a discussion about where the revenue from those speed cameras over the bridges and tunnels are going to go? Are they going to the city, or will they be going to the MTA?
Yeah, I just asked the comptroller if he was in discussions to determine where that revenue is going. I'm not in those discussions.
Okay, all right. So piggybacking on that with the speed cameras, since they've expanded exponentially, the revenue they've brought in has grown tremendously. Over the years, I've introduced a bill that would create a school safety fund. And the school safety fund would be all the speed camera and now the school bus camera revenue for passing a stop school bus. They would go into this pool, and it would only be able to be used to put sidewalks by schools, to do NYPD initiatives by schools, DOT initiatives. So basically like an MTA lockbox. There hasn't been any traction on it, and right now the money that comes from those speed cameras goes into the New York City General Fund. Would you support the idea of a school safety fund so that that money can be directed? Because right now we have a lot of the public, especially in New York City, they look at the speed cameras as a revenue generating. And it's very hard to argue with them considering how fast the program has grown and the money going into the city's general fund. Can you just touch on that?
Assemblymember, that idea to me is certainly appealing. It makes a lot of sense. Given, and we just had a very huge transportation and infrastructure hearing yesterday around safety, particularly the safety of school children in school areas. And for me, those conversations are most welcome. So thank you for that. I would love to speak more about that.
I think there's also some things that could be done to strengthen the program to really achieve safety. The vast majority of people, if they get a ticket or a couple of tickets, pay them and I think about how they can avoid the next one. But if you look at about the top 1% of folks that get those camera violations, they are people getting 50 of them. They're really driving in ways that anyone would say, I'm horrified by that. That driver is gonna kill or injure someone, but there's never a license suspension. Like, we could make a program that had kind of escalating penalties, not with the goal of extracting additional revenue, but of getting the most dangerous drivers to either change their behavior or stop putting their neighbors at risk.
So what about increasing the number of members in the New York City Police Department to enforce traffic violations? Because if we do more speeding enforcement by the NYPD, there now is the opportunity for the person who's driving to be held responsible and their license could be suspended.
I mean, my experience is that people don't go to the academy to write speeding tickets, so I don't think it's probably the best use of additional officers. And the cameras actually tell you who the most reckless driver. If you look, it's extraordinary.
I'm gonna interrupt you there. The camera doesn't tell them that. The camera tells you the registered owner. That's my problem.
Fair enough.
So
but
the issue, and I will tell you that when a police officer goes into, as a former police officer, you will have enough that would want to do traffic enforcement, especially in the local precincts, and that could be a stepping stone to the highway unit. So therefore, you would get buy-in, and I guarantee you there will be people waiting to take those jobs. Just saying. Thank you.